Hello Gemini, this is your 2016 September 1st to September 15th read. For the main read, I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Pumunla. And for the advice cards this time, I'm using the Romance Oracle Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. I've already pre-shuffled the deck, so let's go ahead and get right into your read. Okay, so looks like we have a pretty good time going on here for the most part. We're starting off with the Knight of Swords in your crowning position. So this is the energy taking over or filling in through the whole read in different ways. And with the King of Swords, this interpretation especially, he makes me think about he's weighing options. Especially in this sense, I feel like there's a lot of mental activity and he's deciding what he wants and what he doesn't want. I'm kind of getting that you're not really sure what you want at this point. Even though it's the king, the way this card's going, I just feel like there's a lot of question, and I feel like even the main way you're going so far, you're toying with like 3 or 4 different options. We'll come back to this one because it seems like there's a lot of mental activity going on here. I feel like there's a lot of things in the shadows, a lot of things you're not telling people, a lot of options you're keeping to yourself, some things that you're kind of keeping under wraps, things like that. A lot of mental activity. You're thinking things through a lot, which definitely Gemini is a air sign. It's not only communication, it's a lot of thought. But I feel like some of it you're keeping, maybe more than not, to yourself, just as options. Not options you may act on, but options you're considering, and just like, I could do, that type of thing. As we're going into the September 1st time frame, we got the Magician reversed. When he's reversed, it can go a few different ways. I'm feeling like you can go forward on a few different avenues you're considering, but you're not. In this situation, I feel like you have a lot of choices, a lot of ways you could go. I just feel like you choose to not. You choose to abstain at this point. And the next card after that is going to be the is it Emperor or Empress? Emperor, I figured, yeah. The Emperor reversed, which also makes me feel very stagnant. Like I feel like you're more waiting to see what the other person is doing. And I'm saying that because there's a couple cards here making me think it's a relationship situation. The next card in your line, which is upright, which is great, is the Lovers, which makes me think that, not that you're letting the other person choose, but you want to see where they're going already before you make the decision on what you want to do. I feel like that's, instead of like choosing a direction and seeing if that's what the other person wants, you're waiting to see what they want, and then you're going to actually go forward with your choice after. The energy for the environmental that matches this one is the Queen of Swords, which I feel like they're putting out a lot, they're showing you a lot, but I feel like they're also playing the same game you are, and they're keeping a lot to themselves. I feel like she's very protective. This is a general read, so it could be she, he, however it matches up for you. But I feel like she's being very protective of what she's thinking. She may not be telling you exactly what she's thinking. She also has very many avenues she's considering. It's interesting because your overall energy through the reading is the King of Swords, and the other person is the Queen of Swords. Again, this is a general read, so those gender roles aren't necessarily assigned directly. Like, you could be the female or male. I'm not sure which you are and what type of relationship you have. But the other person seems to be the same way. They seems to be there also pulling, I shouldn't say pulling, or they're just going about it pretty much like either they're taking your lead, they see that you're kind of holding back, deciding what you want to do, and they're kind of doing the same thing. I feel like they're kind of matching you in that sense. There's a lot going on their side for the land of thought. I feel like between the two of you, you got a lot of thought and not a lot of action. Whatever way this adds up for you, it's a lot of thought. There's like, you think a lot, the other person thinks a lot, but for the most part, like, you match up and you get along. I feel like there's chemistry there, but you don't talk about the deeper things. You don't talk about other possibilities. You kind of you both hold back. And since you're both holding back, neither of you is too inquisitive because you don't want to give out what you're thinking, so you don't get too inquisitive with the other, because you think if you delve deep into what they're thinking, you're going to have to give a little bit about what you're thinking, and you're not really ready or wanting to do that. And the last card in your succession is the King of Pentacles reversed, which, again, like, I'm feeling a lot of non-action, a lot of stagnant. Like, because it's all thought between the two of you, it's not seeming to go far. The next one, Ten of Pentacles, which the way this one reads to me, if you see this, I hope you can see this, there's a lady here, and she's kind of hiding behind the dragon, and the dragon's looking towards, like, the sun, which is kind of represented by a stained glass window, which is beautiful. And there's kind of like a little gem out here, or a little pentacle hanging out, kind of like dangling like you would a carrot in front of a mule or something like that. But she hides behind here, and she's holding a piece of fruit. I feel like it's the same energy. Like, I feel like you're both holding back, and you're both kind of holding what you're feeling and thinking. I do feel like there's chemistry there, but I'm starting to wonder, maybe we're getting a lot of these. King of Pentacles, like, King of Pentacles reversed makes me think that, because this is kind of, where this is coming up, it's coming up just above the Knight of Pentacles reversed, which means it's more, it's closer to you, but it's definitely something you share with the other person. Makes me think that the fact that you're holding back and they're holding back, not saying what you're talking about, it starts to kind of make you self-doubt whether you guys are actually going to make it or be able to do anything productive. Let's get some... Okay. So, here's what... because I've been getting this as a relationship the whole way. The Magician card reversed. This is yours and your side. Above the Magician card reversed, it's wedding. So, which basically can just mean that you guys are already married or in a marriage type situation. If it's a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a technical marriage, it can just be a long-term relationship or just one you've been in for a few months and you're kind of, I just feel like you guys are kind of in a lull. I'm kind of thinking that, and I don't know, like, it depends on your relationship, how long you've known each other, of course, but there's other things going on behind the scenes for both of you. Internally, like, emotionally, you're both thinking things through and you're not really communicating, is what I'm getting. Marriage card also comes through, like, if this is a new relationship, that you kind of, you work together well. I feel like you and this person work together well. It's just like the communication hasn't, or isn't happening. I feel like it's more like, more insecurity, and I don't know who's insecure, or if it's just, like, I just don't know if I want to put myself out there like that yet. That type of thing. The next advice card for you on your side is the getting to know each other, which comes up above the Lovers and above the King of Pentacles reversed, which this makes me feel like chemistry happens. Like, you two get together and I feel like the chemistry is very much there. And, like, if you don't want to talk about certain subjects, at least talk about something you're both comfortable talking about, whether it's just like the weather, pop culture, if there's an event or something like the Olympics, something going on that you both can just kind of talk about but not get too deep about. Just building conversation and just getting to know each other how you talk. I feel like that's a great thing. If you talk more, even if it's just about things that are more mundane, and not very deep, it will help ease your tension, because I feel like if you don't talk more, it may make you wonder if there's really anything beyond the chemistry, just like the physical attraction. I feel like you might question that, because there's a very mental, communicative, let me just spit that word out, side to you and to the other person. But if you're not sharing that part of each of you, it's kind of like it's getting a little hollow and a little void. And the interesting thing is, I don't think either of you are hollow or shallow. I just feel like the relationship is kind of taking a hollow feel because that communication isn't there, and it's important. The other person, if you're wondering why that person isn't talking, I feel like that person is slow to open up. So, worth waiting for, because this comes in above the other person's cards connecting to you, which means it's more them than you. I feel like they're just feeling it out, and they're just kind of like, they're slow start. I feel like they definitely have a lot of thoughts, and they communicate, and they like communicating, but I feel like they're more of a slow build, but once they get there, they keep going. I feel like it keeps going well for them, and it's interesting because I do feel like there's a lot of mental energy between the two of you, and it does match up, especially when you got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. That's a matching couple. That's a matching couple in communication. That's a matching couple in talking and, you know, mental activity. But for some reason, the two of you, I don't know if you each kind of, I feel like each of you either have a very strong wit, or I should say, have a very sharp tongue when you want to, and you're both aware of that. And I almost feel like you might feel a little sensitive, or like a little nerved that, you know, you could say something, it comes back, and you kind of get a snap back, like a wise comment that you're not really wanting. But I feel like you're equal in this. I feel like whatever the trait is, I feel like you both have it, and you're seeing it in each other, and that's what's kind of holding back. Let's look at this. This is September 1st to September 15th. In this time frame for you, I do feel like the love is there. Like there's definitely a strong connection. The chemistry does come through, probably like 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, that time frame. Like you get together, you have dinner, you do something. Or just the obvious, if you want to go there, which, you know. But the chemistry is very strongly there. And this whole time frame is about communicating more. The big advice, the big part that I would say the cards are trying to get through here is like, definitely you want to communicate. You want to start some type of dialogue. You don't have to talk about things you don't want to, but talk about something, because that'll get you both going. If you feel the need, if you can get there, I would highly recommend trying some of the conversations you're holding back, just some of the smaller ones that don't mean as much. Because I feel like there's a lot of thoughts around you, and I feel like you could very well articulate just like a half interest in one of the options you're thinking, and just kind of put it out there in an easy, fun way, and I feel, or just like a half-hearted way, and I feel like the other person would banter off of it. Your start on that may not get them to, for example, if you're playing cards, give out a couple of their cards. They might not give out the same at this time, but it will repay in the future. Like I said, the other person I feel also has a lot of mental activity and likes to talk and think and all other stuff, but I feel like they're a slow build. And what you build today, 2-3 months down the road, comes back and greatly pays back or pays off for you. So I'm not getting anything else. I think we're kind of stopping there because the energy is kind of slowing down. I think we touched on everything, and I'm just going to keep reiterating the same. So that's the read for September 1st to September 15th. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave those below. Of course, if you would like a read from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching.